Bonus content the morning after. Let's look at the aftermath. Um, First of all, I guess LP doesn't actually use if you're not online for a machine like this. Our altar was able to charge up to almost 1,000,000 LP, but we have uh, not really used it. This is about the amount of endstone we had when I got off, so okay. That's just what that is. No worries. I'm gonna probably pull the barrel down off of over there when I actually start doing stuff, so I don't get nauseous again. But just gonna keep an eye on the LP. Agglomeration plate setup seems to have been done okay over here. We still have creosote coming in. Kind of starting to run low. Our reserve tanks are empty. And then all of these tanks are doing okay. How's our actual craft setup? Let's take a look over here. We have 28 still scheduled, so we did over 30 of them. That's pretty good. I also scheduled some empowered diamantine and redstonia crystals. Those haven't ran, so yeah, I might actually just go ahead and you know, let's give our mana a treat. How about that? Drum. We are gonna go. What's wrong with this drum? Why isn't it stacking? Odd. Alright, let me get this GPS out of here. And let's put this GPS in our nitro diesel. You know what we're about to do, right? Here we go. Plop. Nitro diesel. Yep, we are now doing nitro diesel. Let's see how our mana is, because I don't want to cap that. You know what? We don't need to worry about capping our spreader, because I can always put more spreaders. Yep. Craft instantly finishes up, wouldn't you know it? Where's my Wand of the Force? It's in my bag, right? Yep, okay. So let's see how we're doing here. This mana spreader is full. And those are full. So I basically, looks like I'm going to need a mana spreader for each flower if I'm using this. So let me just break 2 of my flowers for now. And then I'm going to link you to here and link you to there. And then let's see how we are doing now. Oh, and then we need to point the spreaders at the pool so that they fire, and then the tiny planet's going to take away the charges. You are not linked to the correct spreader still. Looks like I might need the stronger lenses to get this out of here. Though, why am I seeing the mana beam? No, I'm a little confused about what I'm seeing here. Maybe this needs to be closer, so let's do that. And then you point at that. I mean, it definitely looks like I'm seeing the mana burst here when I shouldn't be. So, you link there. And not really sure what's happening there. I guess, you know, I'm not going to call this a bonus content. Actually, I'm just going to say this is just going to be the start of the next episode. Let's relink these so they are in line with the spreader they are using. Alright. So with nitro diesel, we can in fact keep up with... We can keep up with this one here. But these other spreaders are struggling to keep up. So we need some potency lenses so that they can pump out more mana. However, we are sure making mana now. Like, we are doing those infusions like nobody's business. I should have just set this up overnight, right? I also have a 4th spreader. Hang on. Why don't I use this as well? We'll just stick it up there. Point it at the pool. Put a 4th flower here. Put that to there. Okay. So that should now start working as well. Alright, let's make some potency lenses. Potency. Just a mana lens with some fire runes. Okay. Fire rune. I believe I have that one automated. Missing mana powder. What were we using for mana powder? Mana powder. Oh, right. You need to search over here to find the item. I know you can synchronize those, but I don't like them being synchronized, so not gonna do that. Let's use some fluxed phytogrow. No crafting CPUs available, huh? Oh, right. Interesting. And this is a fluid recipe, so I don't think I want to do it by hand. Let's just cancel one of these guys, because they're not running anyways. Spoilers. And then let's get some of this going over here. We are definitely, like, on a power deficit at the moment. Oh yeah, and I didn't do the intro, I guess, if this is going to be an actual episode. Welcome to Feed the Beast Interactions Remastered. Scuffed episode opening, be like. Alright, let's go ahead and do some... Okay. So let's not craft that there, because that pool has not enough mana for that. Probably just craft it here would be fine. I don't want to craft it in those, because those are kind of calibrated with each other to be, I was just looking, where did my flux thing go? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I had the item collector under there. Whoopsie. Oh well, that's fine. We have some mana powder now. Let's get lenses. Let's get the fire runes going first, actually. So fire rune, like 6 of them is probably fine. To get the lens itself, we need to go to the luminous altar with some mana glass panes. It's a pain in the mana glass, I tell you what. Oh. Alright, that is up at the altar up here. Let's see if we can craft it before the sun comes up, so it's going to craft a little bit more quickly. Did you do all of them? You did do all of them. Okay, cool. And now we can put these with a fire rune. Right now I just need 4. So, where's the fire rune? Why am I in here looking for the fire rune instead of just, like, you know, putting it in there. Alright, so what's going on over here? Why is this not crafting now? Oh, our tiny planet's probably stealing our mana. Let me take the tiny planet down for a second. Yep, that was indeed the issue. I'm gonna need to move this around for this to be able to properly reach where we need it to reach. Because right now the tiny planet can steal the energy from our runic altar. Can't steal it from the agglomeration plate since that's using sparks. Unfortunately, you cannot have the runic altar using sparks, though. At least I don't think you can. I have one of these in here. Let me just... 2 more of those. Alright, there's our potency lenses. Alright, so these should basically now be insta-firing all of their mana as they charge up. So these petunias should be empty now. Yep, okay. And now this pool is basically charging up as fast as it possibly can. Which is very fast. I mean, relative to how fast these pools charge up normally. Then I was just curious, we can't put a spark on the runic altar, right? Oh no, I just put the item there, so the item is now floating in the altar. Let's take that away. We have an extra potency lens, should we need one. Honestly, I could probably do away with these setup over here, but I think even this spreader still gets caught by the tiny planet, so this is running like insanely fast, as far as like mana production goes. All right, cool. Let's see how our LP is doing. Oh, it's not. So you know what? We should take this away before it causes a problem. I'm lucky I didn't have a problem already. So with about 1 million LP, we got through like 3,000-ish endstone. That's pretty good. The reason it wasn't running, actually, I think is because it got to an odd number of blood, because this isn't running to generate blood, and it just, like, stopped running because it was at a, hey, I can't run amount of energy. Alright, let's maybe take care of problem down here, since we're gonna be, since it's gonna be, like, a while before we are actually on, what's it called? Let me come over here and disconnect this temporarily. Since it's going to be a while before we actually are on the new power grid, since that generator was a little further than I thought it was, I'm going to go ahead and make more combustion generators. Let's just go ahead and make... We have 8 down here currently. So this is a 16 amp line. We can have another 8 down there. And that's going to take a while to craft up, but... Oh, and our last resonating gem should be done. So... Okay, never mind. I was going to say, it looks like there was an error, because I don't see it crafting, but it is, in fact, just waiting for mana. How fast can we make these go? I'm curious. So, which one are you linked to? You're linked to the back one. So if I accelerate this by 1 tick, are you able to keep up? Nope. Okay, so that can borderline not keep up with 1 tick of acceleration. So this is like peak mana generation from this setup. It cannot really keep up. Also, I'm curious, like, let me actually get that screen, or display panel, I think it's called. Display. Integrated dynamics, that is called display panel. Yeah, where is it? Is it in my toolback? It is in my toolback. Let me get that. And then, where's the variable that has the number? This one. Let me get a variable, and I'm going to just make a copy of this one here. So this copy, wait, which one's the original one? This variable 72 is the original one. We need the original one in here, because it needs to do the calculation on that one. So this is still good. Yeah, okay. And then this can go in the display terminal. Now we can watch our mana go up. Look at that. That's awesome. I mean, just look how fast we're making it. That's crazy, right? Can we actually, like, does the speed need to update this quickly? I don't feel like it needs to update this quickly. Ticks per operation. Let's just change it to, like, 10 ticks per operation, because it is, like, doing a poll on it every single tick, and that seems like a lot. I wonder if I should do that for my other for my other readers. Like, I don't know how significant that is as far as, you know, actually saving some lag over there. How's our blood? Okay, so we do have power to run for blood. Still running our combustion generators over here. What are we at here? Mostly doing the cables at the moment. It's doing the silver wires right now into silver cables. Then it's going to have to do a bunch of gold and electrum wires. So right now it's doing gold wires and gold cables. Doing the circuits, yeah. Everything's going smoothly over here as far as I can tell. How's our tungstate situation, by the way? Tungstate. We have we have a good amount of tungstate. So we have 200 tungsten. We still have another 400 tungstate to process. Those, I believe, that was a 7-to-1 ratio, right? So, that is 60 more tungsten that's in this pile of tungstate right now. Let's put this creosote back down here. What are you doing? You're just emptying out. Where is our creosote? Oh, you know what? We don't produce creosote right now because we don't make charcoal, because our charcoal is full. So it's like, I'm not gonna do anything. I don't need to run. I'm taking a break, buddy. I haven't ran a break my entire life. Alright, let's get the empowered diamantine going. I wanted to have just half a quarter stack of these guys and then a quarter stack of these guys available for if I need them. And since they are kind of long crafts, they are nice to pre-craft. Yeah, with how much mana we have saved up here, it is going to be no problem to do most of those crafts. Quite laggy here with all these sparks currently going, but that's okay. Also, is there a volume for that? Botania. Terrasteel craft. Here, let me put that. Okay, those volumes seem nice. Let's put our tools back in our tool bag. Petra Petunia we can store for now. I need to make more Gaia spreaders if we want to take advantage of more Petra Petunias. Okay, where are we getting this quartzite from, though? I'm a little confused about how this is getting in here again. Quartzite in assembler. I don't have... And it is the 4th slot, so do I have LV sensor in the assembler for some reason? Let me look at these recipes, and I'm like... Sensor? No. Emitter? No, I don't have any emitters automated. And... Comparator. Yeah, I don't have... What about quartzite? So, QUARTZ. ITE, quartzite. The only... Oh, wait a second. Hold on, why does interface have a quartzite in it? Huh? How did this get in here? Okay, well, we figured that problem out. Okay. I forgot you could search by input there. That made finding that pretty easy. So, quartzite now... It's only for that, and then for this. Okay, that's kind of what I would expect. Yeah, no idea how these quartzites even got in here, but it probably didn't help our craft speed. Alright, let's get some ender fluid conduits. Let's get some para steel cables. And let's get our combustion generators. All right, just gonna pop these in line here, and then our next one is going to be, ooh, it's gonna block our elevator access here. We're just gonna come down into a face of generators, but I guess that's what we need to do to have it lined up. And this aisle over here is kind of reserved already, so. All right, there we go. We have doubled our power generation in this area. This should no longer be a problem here. Do I want to hook my... Where did I move my one thing? Trying to remember where I moved my Spectre energy injector. Um, was it down here? Yeah. Okay, it's actually fine down here. It's able to draw enough power off of here, and the setup over here is not currently drawing any power, though. If I suddenly start using oil processing again, which right now we are pending infinity dust, that's probably what I'm looking at handling this episode. We are probably going to need to move it again. But for now, we can come back here. We can hook this back up. That's going to take half of the power we just added, so should be no problem with keeping this running now. Like, we could even, like, tick accelerate this if we wanted to. No, we can't. Never mind. Yeah, don't do that. It's still only getting 1 amp, so don't do that. All right. And both of our crafts finished in the agglomeration plate, so we are sitting pretty with empowered redstone and diamantine, and we have what's the word here? Aquamarine? No, not aquamarine. What's it called? Resonating. Yeah, look at these resonating gems, just beautiful. Here, we can even just craft one, and look how fast it just goes over there, spits it out. Boom, your resonating gem's done. How's our mana doing? Okay, it's rebuilding. I think I'll probably, at some point, maybe I'll just, once this mana is refilled, I will go unplug one of those, all but one of those Petropetunias, because if we keep all of those plugged in and then we use like a little amount of mana, it's going to turn them all on. So we'll use 4 buckets of mana, and then it's going to create a ridiculous amount of mana. So it would kind of be like overshooting. Or, I guess, am I able to control these with redstone, maybe? Good question. Let's see if we can control them with redstone, because if we can just turn them off, if we don't have enough, if we don't have a need for mana, then that would probably be preferable. Okay, I'm gonna break this temporarily just so I can see the mana building up in this spreader here. So right now you are plugged in and you are sending mana away here. I mean, I guess I can tell because, yeah, let me put the tiny planet back. That's just messing up the process over here. I can tell over here because this one is... Oh, I can't tell anything here. Let me take the potency lens off. Alright, now I cannot tell if anything's happening. What's going on here? Okay, so that actually does seem to turn it off, so... And the rest of them are still running. Okay, so good to know. If you apply a redstone signal, we can turn them off. I might want to do that later. And it's back on now? Yep, it's back on now. So I can set up a redstone signal like, hey, if under 800k, turn it on or something. So kind of like a T flip-flop kind of situation for that. Actually, why don't we just go ahead and do that? So let me get... let's do some wireless redstone. Let's get a transmitter. There's also this one. This was like way... Oh, hold on, we actually have one of those. Yeah, we have both of these. So we have a transmitter and a receiver. Hit this on the receiver. Okay, so we're going to put the receiver where we want it. Put the receiver right here. And then we're going to plop that there. Bonk it on that one. And then over here we can have a... We can have a redstone signal. Let's get a writer. And then let's get a couple of variables. Okay. And do we need a logic cable? Nah, we can just do it right here. So we're going to put our transmitter here. And we are going to make a condition. This is our mana condition right here, or our mana value. So we're going to make a condition of... Let's go in here and write a new long really quick. Let's just say like 900K. So that's going to be like our threshold. So if we are above 900K, we want to send a redstone signal. Because sending a redstone signal equals turns it off. So this above 900K, send the redstone signal. Okay, and then let's put both of those back in variable storage. Let's put this over here. And as soon as this reaches 900K, this should change to true. That should that should send a signal over here, and that should turn off the Petropetunias. Let's just watch, because it's getting close. In fact, it's generating mana like so fast over here. It's kind of like, whoa, dude, you're gonna like overshoot this by a lot. Okay, so we saw it just turn on. So that should turn off the Petropetunias. However, the Petropetunias are going to continue burning what they have in their buffer. So it's not going to turn off immediately. That's why we needed kind of a more, what's it called? We needed kind of a small buffer. Okay, that's good. It stopped after 70K more mana. So good, okay. Now we can not generate a whole ton of mana every time we use just a little bit. So if I go and... Let's get some fluxed... Whoops. Why are we... Hold on, what's our power problem at the moment? Oh, you know what? It would help if I actually hooked up my new generators, huh? There. Y'all appreciate that now? You got some fluid to actually work with? Hooks up generators, doesn't actually hook them up to fuel. Good one, me. Okay, that should be working now. How's our power now? It's probably dumping it all into here at the moment to recharge the dense batteries. Yes, okay. Those are recharged, and upstairs should now be getting power. Yep, alright, everything is fully powered up here again. Whew. Okay, what was I doing again? Oh, some fluxed phytogrow, because I was going to make some mana powder with it, and then the item collector over there stole it. So if I throw it over here, I'm going to throw it in the one specifically that is under this one, so we're at 969,000. And now we're at 880,000. Okay, so it actually ended up using quite a lot more mana than I thought it would. It might overshoot because all of the other mana pools are now going to be full. Yeah, okay. So now all the other mana pools are full. Now this one is going to be filling up. So there is a buffer in that this mana pool over here still has to this mana pool right here still has to get filled up before we start wasting anything. So now if I put more in here... Oh, we can't. Duh, we can't do anything with the mana powder. Make some more fluxed growth really quick, or we don't need to make some, we have some right here. So if I put one in there, it basically instantly refills it. Yep, so cool. So all of our pools are full now, and we have a method that turns off generation if it is not low. Actually, I would like to maybe make the threshold lower, just because as we just saw, it can overshoot it. So let me change this threshold to 800k. This is going to waste 4 buckets of diesel because it's going to temporarily be... Actually, it doesn't have to be a waste. Let me just go over here and we can request like a resonating... Let's request like 3 of these guys. Looks like it's gotta make the mana pearls from scratch, though. Alright. So that's gonna suck up some mana, and then I can mess with the variables without wasting any mana, since it's actually gonna need to use them. What's our delay, though? Hold on. Hello? Why aren't we crafting mana pearls? Oh, our assemblers are broken because our power flickered. That's right. Okay. Flick that switch, and they are good working again. Okay. All right, so we now have a bunch of mana used up. Let's take our variable, and then we're just going to change it to 800k. Okay, and now we can toss that back in there, and that should be sending the redstone signal again. Okay, and that should stop the generation. Good. All right, that was good stuff, I think. I feel like. Feeling good about our Botania automation at the moment. Only thing I'm not so thrilled about is that this planet makes it so that we can't really run this setup and that setup at the same time. I need to go disconnect the planet for that. But I need to have this setup close enough to over here for that mana pool to get... Or I could just put one of those that sucks up mana over there. Might do that, might do that. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see how much we're using the runic altar long term. But for now, we are set with that. Let's go and figure out what we're doing today. So I want to get closer to the end portal, of course, so we can go to the end, get molybdenite, get our power situation all under control and stuff. But before we can do that, I want to get the current fuel generation working. So we need infinity grain. This guy here, infinity dust, rather. So in order to get infinity dust, like, automatically, we need liquid nightmares. And in order to get liquid nightmares, we need grains of infinity or nightmare enriched egg. However, to get nightmare enriched egg, we would need nightmare chicken. And to get that, we would need double compressed infinity dust blocks. And also, we're going to need 2 of them because, yeah, we need 2 chickens, right, to breed them. And then that needs compressed infinity dust. That needs infinity dust block. And, like, yeah, it just needs a lot, right? So if we were to bookmark this, and then bookmark this, and then bookmark this, right? To get the 2 that we need for the chicken. This is the one we need for the chicken. Bookmark that. We would need 1,458 grains of infinity. And I'm just like, normally I would be like, you know what? I can grind out some stuff manually, right? That doesn't seem too bad, but that is a lot of sitting there in the dust and fighting these guys one by one. So, we're not going to be doing that. We are going to be instead setting up a way to automate this. And I would like to automate it inside of a compact machine, I think. And the way we're going to automate it basically is that we're going to have a compact machine. So let's make a compact machine first. What size of compact machine? Probably a 7x7x7 seems fine. So let's get this here made. So compact machine wall and block of gold. Oh, why don't I have block of gold automated? This is like the third or fourth time I'm manually crafting gold blocks. All right, gold block. There we go. And what's our catalyst for this? Ender pearl. Pearl. Yoink. Yoink. All right, let's build our compact machine. The gold block goes in the middle. How do I know? I just know because I've done this recently. All right. Okay, there's our compact machine automated. Or not automated, built. We're gonna need some tunnels. Let's see how we're doing on tunnels. How many tunnels do we have? We have 5 tunnels. That's probably gonna be sufficient for our needs. Oh, this thing's still not done. Can you hurry up? Jeez, thank you. Okay, and we're going to need a ritual stone. Master ritual stone. Orb. I'm gonna make, you know what? I'm gonna go make a new master ritual stone because I'm tired of our system being like, oh, you don't have a master ritual stone in storage because it has your name on it. And I'm like, okay, just get one that doesn't have my name on it then, I guess. Okay. Let's go compress this ardite block. And we're just going to go throw that in our... Well, first of all, let's accelerate this guy. Because our blood situation over here is probably dire. Yep. Alright, and this doesn't take that much blood, right? Yep, it does not. So we'll throw this in here. That should stow our orb. This should fill up. There we go. And now it should start crafting the orb. And then it's going to tuck the orb away in our storage system once that is done. Okay, so that's going to now be it. I didn't make the ritual stone, did I? Gosh dang it. Hey, it finished the orb, it pulled it over here, and now it doesn't get confused about what orb it's doing. Alright, and then I will need some ritual stones as well, which we have. I need my ritual diviner. I don't need the ritual tinkerer because it's like janky as heck to use. So I'm going to try not to use it. Ritual diviner. We want the ritual of coaling. Here it is. Ritual of coaling. Let's 36 runes, okay. So get 4 more of these guys. We need also for this ritual to work, we need a blood altar. And we're gonna need like 2 of these, so let me just make 2 of them. Whoops. What are you? Oh, it's just making the gold plates. Got it. Okay. Can you actually just go ahead and make 2 more because we're gonna be making 2 blood altars. The second one I will show you what we're gonna be using for a little later. We need, though, some tormented wills, or whatever these things are called. Just gonna take this out of here for a moment. Demonic wills, right. Alright, and put the gem back. Just needed 2 of them for our altar. What else are we missing here? I think we're good on this recipe now. Alright, there we go. We have 1 altar for later. We have 1 altar for our current ritual of coaling. We are going to need some, what's it called? We're going to need a mechanical user. What are they called? Aren't they called mechanical user? They are called mechanical user. Alright, for the mechanical user, we need some stone burnt, which is pyrotheum and arcane stone. Pyrotheum. This is going to go in our alloy smelter. Got caught on the clipboard there. Okay. And then the other stuff is crafting. We'll just give it a second. Can't we upgrade? Hang on. I was just looking at that. This uses reinforced alloy. Can't we upgrade this to use a different kind of rubber? And it's much faster. We should totally do that. Where's our alloy recipes? Alloy. Does it affect only this alloy? Okay, this one doesn't use rubber, so we only need to upgrade this recipe here. So let's change this recipe here. Instead of using rubber, we are going to use styrene butadiene rubber. Okay, so next time we need to craft that, it should be like 4 times the speed, which is nice. It is kind of a slow craft. There's our mechanical user. We are going to need some infinity dust to get us going, so I'm just going to grab 10 levels of experience. We're going to go to our void world really quick and bash the bedrock over here real quick. So this should be enough infinity dust to get us going. Okay, and then I think we're ready to go into our compact machine. Where's my shrinking device? Here we go. We're also going to need an item collector. I'm going to make the upgraded one. And one of the forest I don't need. Don't need these terra steel cables. I will need some kind of chest. You know, just for safety reasons, I'm going to make a obsidian chest. So let me go ahead and do this. I will take a diamond chest. I'm going to plop that there, upgrade it, and there we go, obsidian chest. Thought there was a quest for that, but maybe not. Okay, so obsidian chest got. All right, into our compact machine, let's go. So ritual of coaling. First of all, let's get what this looks like. Normally I would actually put this outside of the compact machine, but I think this is fine to be in here. So let's look at our ritual diviner. I think, uh-oh. Yeah, that doesn't fit in here. So we're actually gonna do a little cheese over here. Where's our rod of elevation? Let me get out of here. Well, I guess first we can go ahead and set this up. So let's... I didn't even get my tunnels or anything. Okay. I'm a mess. Tunnel. We need 2 tunnels because we're going to have an input and an output on this guy. And that should kind of be all I need over here, I think. Yeah, okay. Oh, and the rod of elevation, right. Rod elevation. Uh-oh. Did I lose my rod of elevation? I could swear I had one. Okay, I guess we're just going to have to make one really quick. Yo, I have definitely made one before. Where is it? I must have lost it at some point, because I didn't make one before. Is it up here, maybe? Nope. Yeah, no clue. Okay, well, I guess we're just gonna have to make another one. Let's get brass rods. Glowstone. It's not hard to make, it's just like, you know, I've got to run across the universe to get, the stuff all assembled, and then we gotta throw it in here, and then we gotta get our tool out and smack our tool on there. I'd like to lower the volume on that, actually. There we go. Alright, Rod of Elevation. Re-gotten, because I don't know what happened to my original one. Watch it, like, show up in, like, the battery slot of a machine or something. Now I'm looking at my machines. Is it here? Is it here? Nope. Okay. Back into our compact machine. So, fun interaction about compact machines. And this is the game telling me this, by the way. The quest book is telling you this. The Rod of Elevation, the default behavior of this is to put you above wherever you are standing, like on the block above you. So if I go under here and then I use it here, it's going to put me on top of that block, right? But what about here where there's no above? Or is there? Yep, that's right. We're now outside of the compact machine. Yay! All right, let's get our ritual built up here. And I need to be careful not to fall into the void. Okay, I don't need it up so high. I want it to be low as possible. So we can put it right there. And are we centered still? Okay, we're still centered. Good. Let's get our ritual diviner. All right, I believe that's the entire ritual. So let's just go ahead and place the ritual. Ow. All right, the ritual should be placed. And then let me activate it. Okay, and then the important part about this is that it needs a blood altar to function. You don't need to do anything with the blood altar. The blood altar just needs to exist here. However, we might as well go get an orb and stick it in there. Because, like, why not? So when it makes blood, it's going to put it in our LP network, which currently it's above. I think this orb only holds like 25 or 50k or something. So it's not going to be able to fill the orb much. But if it does, if the orb does get full, or if the orb does get empty, this can supply some blood back to the orb. So we don't waste as much blood, I guess. If I wanted to, I could go make a bigger orb. Actually, why don't I make a bigger orb? What's our max tier of orb right now? Weak blood shard? Bruh. I'm just gonna do it. You know what? Me trying to be frugal, but I'm like, why am I being frugal? It's like literally free almost. Alright, weak blood shard. Let's go in here. Throw this in here. I know it costs 40k and our altar capacity is 30k, but with this accelerated, we should be okay. And not only with that accelerated, I am also going to go grab some of the extraterrestrial matter. That will give us a 70% bonus. Alright, and this should craft up no problem. Yep, see? Not even draining any blood. Okay. So I'm just going to wait a second for this to craft. There it goes. It's done. It took that orb away, brought my regular orb back. So, you know, if we wanted to, we could even get some runes of sacrifice. Oh, hold up. Need to go unplug Tiny Planet. Yeah, that's mildly annoying. Let's get 4 of these really quick. And then 4 blank runes. Why 4? Because tier 2 altar actually ignores the runes that are on the corner. So why make them more than blank runes? Alright, what's going on here? Why are we not crafting? Oh, it's having to craft imbued slates, right. And that probably means we don't have any blood over here. So let's accelerate the blood again. And then I'm just going to give this 1 tick of acceleration for the slates. It shouldn't overshoot the craft time, because otherwise it's going to overshoot the craft time and it's going to keep crafting, and we do not want it to do that. Be back again when it's done. All right, there we go. It finished. And it did, in fact, overshoot the craft time. Gee, I wish that system was a little bit quicker. It is not as fast to pull the item as I would like. Though it's it's set at maximum speed, so I don't really know what it needs to I don't really know what it needs to run properly, but still. Alright, I'm just watching this craft over here. These mechanical users are so slow. There's supposed to be a speed upgrade for them, but like... Whoops. I took the, I stole the power on accident. There we go. I still stole the power. Can you, like, finish crafting already? There we go. Me stealing all the power be like. Alright, sacrifice runes. Oops. Alright, let's go in the machine. Alright, let's cheer up our altar. I'm just going to break this, build it up by 1 block, and then put these around it. I guess I need to break that. There we go. Little mini altar here that we can take advantage of our ritual. Attune to the blood orb and put it in there. There we go. So now that is getting, this is a tier 2 altar, and it is getting a, what is that, 40% bonus to whatever we're going to be doing. And what we're going to be doing is, all right, very carefully, let me get back into the compact machine. If I fall here, it's going to be a little annoying to get my stuff back. I'm actually a little scared to do this because I have done this before where I just fall into the void. Alright, there we go. Maybe I'm not going to do that again. So if we place an infinity dust in here now, it's going to do the thing where it's like, ooh, I'm an infinity dust. I'm going to spawn some scary mobs. I'm going to actually say that, but then I'm going to get healing shards out because I'm scared. And those mobs should get killed instantly by our altar up here. In fact, here, let's see if we can get a gauge of how much blood this is actually going to generate for us. Boom. Enderman instantly killed. Right, and how much blood did that give us? Like 400? Yeah, like, it's not nothing, so... So yeah, we're definitely gonna... keep the orb up here. We'll definitely get some extra mileage out of it. I'm scared to go under, so I'm just going to teleport back in here. Huh, interesting. The Endermite is, Are you out of range, buddy? Can you, come up on top of this cobblestone? Can you come up on top of this cobblestone? Trying to figure out why this Endermite is not dying. Okay, so we are actually, we actually need to build up the floor in here a little bit because the range of the altar actually cannot reach down there on the floor, so... But what we can have down here, we can actually have our, let's go ahead and put a tunnel here. And I'm just going to have, yeah, tunnel down seems fine. And I'm going to have our obsidian chest here, and I'm going to have our item collector there. And our radius is going to be 5 by 5 by 5. Yeah, sure. I'm actually going to expand it. And that should cover this whole area. And actually, I think we can have our mechanical user under the floor here. Right? Rotate it upwards. And I think if we use a... Oh, but I need a tunnel under it as well. Let's put a tunnel. Up tunnel sounds good. So up is our input and down is our output. Pretty standard, I think. So if we put a infinity dust in here and we do place block, that does not work. Use item on block. There we go. Use item on block pushes the infinity dust to this side. So we can just stuff a bunch of infinity dust in there, cover this hole up, and now we should have our infinity grain farm going here. Little confused as to where that guy went. How's our ritual going? Our ritual should be going. What happened to our ritual? Why did our ritual not fire at that guy? Well, let me come up here to watch from up here. So let's just make sure this is working here. This is the edge of the platform. Okay, don't go any further. All right, those guys died instantly. That's what we want to see. I'm confused on how that Enderman died. Or how that Enderman, like, teleported away and where he went to. There's, like, nowhere to go up here. Okay, well, as far as I can tell, this is working. Those dust clouds also spawn TNT, which is fun. I don't know if this matters, so I'm going to go ahead and go and claim chunks, and I'm just going to claim this. I'm not going to chunk load it. I'm just going to claim it. That should prevent mob griefing. I don't know if it works on those TNTs that can spawn. But alright, we are automated in here. We have... Why is this blood not going into this blood orb? Hello, sir. Would you like to absorb the blood? What's wrong with this altar? Altar, what's wrong? Why don't you wanna feed my orb? Look, I'll feed it for you. Your turn. Can you, like, not have multiple orbs charging at the same time or something? What's the deal with this? If I take this orb away, are you charging now? Whoa. Oh yeah, that's right. We enter in down here, the danger room. Is our blood network full? No. Maybe the tier is too low for this orb. Maybe we can't put a tier 2 orb on a tier 2 altar, or a tier 4 orb on a tier 2 altar. I'm guessing it must be that. Okay, let's go get our tier 2 orb then. I made this I made this orb for nothing then. Okay. Get this out of here. Sorry, orb, you were made for nothing, I guess. And that's just not gonna charge because our network is full, or it's too full for that orb anyways. But alright. Let's get out of here. Let's see what our loot is. So the bottoms are output. So we have the obsidian chest there. We'll have to pipe the items out. Let's go ahead and use a translocator to get those out of there into a chest. How do I not have a chest? What the heck? Alright, I'm just going to plop that here. Plop our chest right here. Plop, plop. And... ah, yes, look at that. We got some grains of infinity. It's exactly what we wanted. Okay, so grains of infinity are kind of automated. What we can do now is we can take the grains of infinity and we can turn them into liquid nightmares. So let's do that. I'm gonna put these away really quick. All right, and then the other drops we're going to get from here, we're probably not going to care that much about, but still. Let's put our Master Orb back in our main altar here as well. I guess we have a spare Master Orb now, should we need it for something. Still no idea where my Rod of Elevation is. Okay, we need to get some light wells going. Light well. So remember when these were annoying as crap to make? Well, they're not so annoying to make anymore. So let me just make like a handful. I'm thinking where I want to put them exactly. I think I'll just put them up on the astral altar. The higher they are in the sky, the more yield they get. So, glass, lens. Let's get like 8 of them, sure. We should have our marble up there. We should have rock crystals up there. Iron plate we'll need to bring with us. 16 iron plates, please. Yeah, everything else we should have up there. Assuming we have enough ruined marble, we might need to make more ruined marble. Let's see how much we have. We need to go make some ruined marble. That's okay. We do be having the marble and the steel for it now, so that's not really the issue. Steel. Fine steel wires. Let's just make a handful of that. And then in the meantime, I'm going to chisel some of these to the chiseled marble. And I think the rest, any kind of marble is fine, right? Any kind of astral sorcery marble, I think, maybe. So, chiseled marble. And then got our fine steel wires. We're going to run over to Thaumcraft really quick and craft these guys up. That uses Ordo crystals, fine by me. Alright, we're going to need a few more of those. Alright, and we should now be able to craft our light wells, except we need rock crystals. Okay. Am I concerned about, like, what rock crystals are good here? I feel like at this point, no, because we can just make the celestial crystals, and then they're, like, better, so... Where's our resonating wand? While that's going, I'm going to take a bunch of our stuff and just plop it in here, because I don't want to be... I don't want to be, like, refilling this manually over and over and over. So just put that in there, and then we can just refill our rock lens, or our rock, crystal. There is a way to automate this process with something called Packaged Astral. I'm not too familiar with this mod, but it's something we might go into later if we end up doing, like, mass automation of astral sorcery things. Alright, we got our... Now we got our light wells. So let's go back and get a wireless fluid node. And then let's get a GPS for the fluid node. And we're going to need a way to get the items up and down. For now, I think... Okay, here's the plan, okay? The infinity dust needs a fluid solidifier LV. So let's just get a let's get an MV fluid solidifier, which we have. Let's get a nugget mold, shape or mold. I guess let's make a new one. All right, there's a new mold. Gonna chisel it to nugget. And then let's get a combustion generator. And let me get a steel cell. We're gonna fill that up with nitro diesel. Basically the same thing that we have over for our deconglomerator. Because this is gonna be like way more than enough power. Speaking of, how's our fuel over here doing? Yeah, it's like not used any power. That's just from filling the buffer. Right, like that. This power buffer was a 10 million EU power buffer, which is kind of insane. Okay, so let's do... Oh, I don't have my compact machine with me. Grab my compact machine here. And let's kind of build a little stilt for it. All right, so we are going to be taking everything out first. I can go and get my other translocator over here. And the chest is fine. We'll use that. And I'll also get a piece of glowstone for the translocator. Gonna pop that on under here. Gonna put our chest right here. Didn't put our glowstone on the translocator. Whoops. There we go. That is now glowstoned up. Right? Let me actually look at it. Yeah, it is. Okay, I didn't see it, so just wanted to make sure. All right, so that is set up now to get the items out. Now I believe we are able to... Here's what we're going to do next. We are going to put some light wells up here. I don't have any conduits. Let me get some item and fluid conduits. So conduit, item, not pressurized, ender. There we go. I also see over here this is still using regular fluid conduits. I should probably go change that at some point. But let's go ahead and have something like this. I think like 3 of these is going to be okay. Because once we have our chicken, this is going to be not so necessary. Wow, I placed those everywhere but where they needed to be. We're going to insert on these, and we're not going to worry about filtering them because I think it's only going to allow it to insert like relevant loot. So it should only put if I put like a nugget mold in there, it's not going to take it, but if I put a grain of infinity, it will take it. So yeah, there we go. So we got our liquid nightmares generating now. We are going to put a fluid solidifier here. We're going to tell it to point downwards and auto output the item. And we're going to put the nugget mold in there. Finally, we are going to... That's right, we can't have items above when we are doing this. Okay. Let's have our fluid conduits here then. Extract. I'm just putting these on manually because we're not really configuring too much. All right. So that's going to insert here. And then we are also going to insert into our wireless transfer node to send that to our base. So we should be getting liquid nightmares over here and over here in our fluid solidifier. But I want to make the fluid solidifier be the priority. So let's put priority 1. Actually, it doesn't... These are all set to round robin, so it should be fine. All right. Now we take some grains of infinity. And... Oh yeah, I forgot my combustion generator. Combustion generator with 1 load of fuel, and we should be good here. And in fact, to save even more fuel, we can tell this not to overclock. It's going to take 10 seconds per set of 9, but it's like a set of 9. That's a lot of grains of infinity, so. And to get this going even stronger, we can accelerate these guys. And look at all that liquid nightmares we're generating. I didn't take the GPS, did I? Okay, well, there we go. This is now doing stuff. I probably should not have sped that up. Okay, let's go look in our compact machine and see what that's looking. I'm probably going to get attacked as soon as I get in there, though, so I need to be ready to warp up. Or maybe not, because I'm in the floor. Ah! Okay. Alright, so this is what's happening in here now. It is just getting fed with the grains with the infinity dust, it is spawning the stuff. This altar is killing them. And then, yep, that's kind of all there is to it, really. Pretty neat, right? Is it the fastest process? No. But does it work? Yeah. Our our concern is getting those grains of infinity because, like I said, we need double compressed infinity. We need 1,500 of them to get this nightmare chicken. And we didn't really want to sit here and get those all manually, so automating infinity is now complete. I don't know why I checked that off before, but there we go. So that is safe as long as we continue to have blood in here. And that is grabbing all of our what's it called? Grabbing all of our stuff. You know, since we're probably not going to be able to utilize this blood here, let me actually go and let's get a super tank and we'll just collect the blood in a super tank. Super tank. So that, like, at least we can do something with the blood. And I'll also need a pump to extract from the altar. And let me do displacement instead of the sacrifice runes. Pump and super. All right. There we go. Just fine-tuning our upgrade here, or our system here a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to automatically, like, take this and deposit it in our base, but I'm just going to collect it for now. So that, like, you know, this has a purpose. Whoops. And then if our base ever gets low, we can be like, oh yeah, I remember when we put that super tank in that one compact machine. Let's go see how much blood it has in it. And hopefully we come back and it's like full or something. But anyways, this is now set to maximum displacement speed for this tier of altar. I'm not going to build another altar over this. Like, I'm not going to build a full-size altar in here. It's a little bit overkill. So, yep, I'm satisfied with this. I mean, I guess if we wanted to... I was actually thinking for a second, what if we actually made this like our main altar for generating blood? But then I'm like... If we want to do that, we're going to need to probably move our stuff underneath the compact machine. Because up here, it, like... I can't really build downwards because there's all of these warding aura around us. So I can't actually build downwards. So that's just a future thought. I think if we do it, then I will do it down there. But for now, we're good like this. So let's go back to outside the compact machine. And yeah, let's check out our loot. We got Grades of Infinity already. Grains of Infinity out the kazoo. We also have some Infinity Dust. But the real key fluid here is these Grains of Infinity, because we can... We can accelerate these. I think we can even put a collector crystal to point at these, and that speeds them up as well. Okay, and we are actually full on liquid dust. Let's send this back to the base. Not infinity, GPS. Let's put this in our fluid storage. So it's gonna be... Honestly, we're not really using these setups over here. Like, this is no longer being used here for the mana. We are still using it for Starlight, not so much for the... and Brine, but not so much for the other stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and toss a super tank down here. So let's make another super tank. Too far away. Super tank. I'm surprised it still needs to craft so much stuff for this. What all does this take? Just a bunch of steel. Okay, fair enough. So let's get a super tank, and we are going to Stick it here and mark it with a GPS. I know that wasn't a super tank, but I was just going ahead and setting up the GPS while we wait for the tank. Our tank is now set up. We are going to need a fluid storage bus. And fluid storage. That one should only take like a few seconds. It needs to make the panels, and then the panels are done. And then the chest. Excellent. So fluid storage bus, we are, of course, going to configure partition. Oh, there's no fluid in here, huh? Let me get the fluid in here before I hook it up, because I don't want some random fluid to end up in there. Even if we're not, like, actively processing fluids that quickly. There it goes. And those should be draining now. You'd love to see it. I don't know why I came up here. Okay. So infinity grains. Partition storage. There we go. And it is locked to liquid nightmares. All right. All set. Amazing, right? And then what we can do is we can go over here and we can say infinity dust. Well, first of all, let's teach our system how to make infinity dust. Infinity dust. Fluid solidifier. We do have a nugget solidifier. So stick that in there. Now I can make some infinity dust. There we go. Infinity dust automated on demand. And I'm going to take some infinity dust. I'm going to put it in our level maintainer, and I'm going to say, hey, maintain a stack of 64 infinity dust. You can make a stack at a time. No, 64, though. There, thank you. Okay, and now whenever we have less than a stack of infinity dust, the level maintainer is going to call it, and it's going to pull it down here and start processing it for empowered canola seeds. So Diesel's back alive. How are we on power for Diesel here? I guess it's gonna depend on what we do with this distillation tower over here, right? Are we on sulfuric acid? Apparently we are using up our sulfuric acid, that's fine. For now, I'll leave our thing down there, and if I come down here and I see, like, there's a big traffic jam of fluids because we ran out of power, we'll know why that happened. Or I could just, like, preemptively move it up to the place where I increased power. Why don't I just, like, do that? Me talking about things to avoid doing things, but I should just do the things so that they're done. If I didn't say a realer thing, tell me in the comments. Okay. I think that's going to be it. We have automated infinity. The other thing I want to do next time is probably automate, what's that dude's name? The Wither. Yeah, we can do the Wither kind of in a similar fashion, and I think I will do it in a similar fashion. But we've gotten enough content to this episode. We got our mana kind of fine-tuned here to not overshoot production. And we have gotten our Grains of Infinity finally automated, and we should eventually have enough Grains of Infinity to make those blocks. Here, hold on. We're actually missing something here. Let's get a drawer for loot and a drawer controller, and then a void upgrade, sure, and then a diamond upgrade. That's just going to take a second to put all this together. Maybe I should put circuits on level maintainers. As far as I saw, there were only 4 types of loot coming in here, so... Interesting. That's okay. I can just make another drawer. It's fine. So let's throw that in here, put our translocator back there. Store what we've got so far. This comes from in there. These come from in there. We need another drawer. I am going to upgrade this one because that's the one that has the Grains of Infinity in it. And then let me go back and get one more drawer. And one more void upgrade. I'm not going to upgrade the size on the other one, because I don't think the size is going to matter. But this one's going to catch, like, bandages and other random things, so... let's see, we got bandage, and we got slime balls. And any other loot that comes in here, I guess it's going to fill these 2 slots, and then we'll know there's more loot we need to handle. But for now, these are squared away. There we go. Storage is good here. Alright, and we have Liquid Nightmares coming in. As soon as we have enough Grains of Infinity to... as soon as we have enough Grains of Infinity here to make the chickens, we can replace this part of the setup with the chickens. But for now... yeah... I'm going to take the GPS out of here. And I'll tell you why, because we don't really need that much Liquid Nightmares going. Well, these are, now that I think about it, these are going to continue to make Liquid Nightmares even if... yeah, never mind. We will collect it, because those are going to continue making Liquid Nightmare, and we need Liquid Nightmare to keep the stuff in there stocked up, so... Trying to be kind of conservative with our resources, but it's not really relevant, I guess, because at the end of the day, we have to wait for these Grains of Infinity to build up, and these aren't using them super quickly, so... Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Apparently, also, we end up with drops out here sometimes. I'm looking to see if there's something that blocks Enderman teleportation. Is there like an Enderman interference or something? I know, I just started the intro and then I stopped abruptly. Let's see. Enderman interference item. I feel like there would be something called like the Ender Blocker or something. Wow, that's so loud. Hold on. Yeah, because our Endermen are teleporting up here and then we're losing some of our loot. So... I'll look through this. If I find an item that blocks Enderman teleportation, and then I'm just going to put it down there, and then I'll tell you next time. But that's going to be it. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Goodbye.